What's up, everybody? It's your favorite breath of fresh air's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Iron Factory Mini One-Man Army, which is their take on Cliffjumper, supposedly kind of IDW, Cybertronian inspired, is sort of what they tend to do for the most part. I will say I had to refresh myself because Cliffjumper's not really a huge player in IDW from the stuff that I read. I had to kind of refresh my memory as to what he looked like. He doesn't look much like this. The rendition where he gets the closest is kind of here, and I don't know. It's not the most memorable character in that book, so I guess it's fine. It's more so about how this will relate to Bumblebee, I guess, but we'll cross that bridge. But it is the subject of a conversation that might need to happen regarding Iron Factory. Now, you know I'm a fan of Iron Factory, but they might be making some moves that I'm not entirely on board with. More on that later. This is on loan to me from Joel W. Once again, he's been a tremendous resource and very kind. So shout out to him. We need to get this guy reviewed, though. I am at the end of my rope today. I have done an awful lot, but I did say breath of fresh air because I've done a lot of like involved reviews recently, and this will be a nice breath of fresh air to kind of just knock out. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of it. But in order to do that, we got to start with accessories. Now he comes with a silver pistol. It has a tab here, obviously, for holding, and then the barrel will also fold down, and it is covered in silver paint, as we've come to expect from Iron Factory. He'll hold that just fine. Once the gun is folded, it can be stored on his back by plugging it in to a little notch that's there, and then you can close up the rear, and I'll show you the notch here. I just saved you the pain of having to watch me plug it in that little space with these big fingers, but it's right there in that notch. You can also swap out one of your side guns to your bazooka and replace it with the other pistol. The folded up gun will store below the car, lining up this notch with that notch there, and there you go. Now, he also comes with this mega weapon. We got two smaller weapons attached to this larger sort of bazooka in the middle. We have the fold down feature here for the handle. It's a peg and then a handle, once again covered in silver paint. And he'll hold that fine as well. Using the peg on the big cannon, you can store that on his back. You can also store that ensemble on the roof in car mode using the same peg and that was on the back of the robot. But it doesn't stop there. You can also separate these two side pieces. They peg in, and because Iron Factory paints all their stuff, it is an Henri peg. He'll hold those two pistols, and in case it wasn't obvious, he'll still be able to hold the single bazooka by itself. Now let's talk about the figure. So the face is painted with light blue eyes and then the silver on the face, which looks good. The head itself is on a ball peg. You can get it up to there, which is substantial. Even a good bit down, I think. Swivel, confused dog look, etc. No issues. You have a hinge inside of the chest that comes out to a ball peg. You have these massive shoulders, but even with them, using both, you can get it out to 90 degrees and swivel it 360. You have the white paint, blue paint accents, and no, that's just the pen, and some silver paint there. You have a bicep swivel, a single hinged elbow that gets you 90 degrees, wrist hinge in and out. Same for the other side. You do get this white stripe down the side of it as well. And I ain't talking about the bands, you know what I mean? Speaking of white stripes, you got them going down the chest as well. They are sharp and clean, and you have a waist swivel. You have ball pegs, T-jointed ball pegs for hips. That gets you the full Van Damme. It also gets you pretty much the full Monty. We have the thigh swivel built around the ball peg, plus an additional one that gets you the full range. We have a knee that gets you, basically the full run, plus the window paint on the side looks good. Then we have no ankle tilt up. You do get an ankle tilt down, and you do get an insane rocker. Silver paint, blue paint, white paint. Pretty well done. There he is from the back. Relatively incomplete, but I think given what you get on the front at the scale of the figure, it's acceptable. Size comparison wise, there he is next to Iron Factory's Tarn. So I'd say that's about right. He's probably a little big for Tarn, but I think it works. And of course you get my two standards, which is basically the Tiger Tracks of my Legends reviews, an old Iron Factory, and a Hasbro Legends to round out the size comparison. So let's get him transformed. Fold in the hands. And you also want to kind of line up the arms. The shoulder, the forearm pad rather, moves somewhat independently of the forearm. So you can manipulate both in order to sort of make the tolerance work, which is a nice touch. You can also move your waist 360. And and you can drop down this back roof part of the car and plug it in to where you had your weapon plugged in. This gives you all the room to manipulate the head, so you can move that 360 and then get your hood up and around and over top of the head of the vehicle, of the robot. And then you just want to sort of line all this up and plug it in. There's a little space for the hands to go. I don't know if you can see that. I'll get a right there. So use the shoulder joints, manipulate the arms up. And that will help you kind of align everything. There. Now, I said all that about the side door moving independently from the forearms, and then I didn't take advantage of it. All right, now flatten the feet. It's easy for this to come off of the peg. There's a peg that connects the ankle to the lower leg, and it is easy to kind of manipulate it in a way where it wants to come out. So just use caution. You can slide it back on if it does come off, but just use caution, do it slowly. Connect these two pieces together, flip the wheels out, and then you just sort of have to angle this in a way where it can get the back part of the car sort of in line with the upper part of the car, and you just have to maneuver the doors around and stuff. You're probably no stranger to this sort of cleanup process, but I'll get it cleaned up a little bit further and we'll take a look at it. But that's that. I hope some of that was in focus. Good grief. So there it is. Rolls like a champ. The white stripes come through nicely, both in your headphones and on the vehicle. The blue windows look good. Silver windshield wipers are painted on nicely. The front grille is painted. I think it works well enough. Nothing to write home about, but we shouldn't necessarily expect it to be. Tiger tracks. Final thoughts wise, let's talk about the negatives. There are some tolerance issues regarding the paint. That's just something they struggle with, probably always will struggle with, and will continue to struggle with. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot of complaints. My issue with this is not with this per se. It's more so about what are they doing in regards to the IDW stuff, and what are they doing in regards to what they can flip into repaints, and are they giving characters their just due, or are they looking at what's going to yield the biggest turnover? Because if they're using this same mold for Bumblebee, I'm not sure that it works. To me anyway, one of Bumblebee's more iconic aspects in IDW are the wings off the side. Now that could be me, and I could be a dinosaur because I could be not up on the current IDW stuff. All of that is possible. However, I still feel like it's the most iconic, like the one that Hasbro put out. I don't feel like this mold will satisfy that mold, but I can't hold this mold accountable for my issues with that mold. Does that make sense? It's just something that I find alarming, and something that I'm starting to become concerned about regarding this company that I do hold in high regard, and their business model. But once the tinfoil hat is off, looking at this figure objectively and independently, the articulation is there, the sculpt is there, the paint is there, the engineering is there, the materials are there. It's a really, really well done thing, as most things are from this company. So it is a recommend from me, but my spider sense is tingling. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.